We mentioned this at the top of our program with Stuart Varney. You know, the drumbeat of sobering economic news, it continues to hit us one after the other. Has the White House and Democrats on defense a bit. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a bit of a grilling over the weekend on why we have not seen any action from lawmakers on the Democratic side in Congress. Her answer with Bob Sheehan.
In politics, they're bigger than elections.
I mean, we keep talking about, well, we don't want to talk about the past, we got to talk about the future. But in the meantime, in between time, nothing is getting done. Nobody's agreeing with anybody on anything.
I understand that. So we're not in the majority in the House. And so you're saying to me, why haven't we brought something to the floor that create jobs? I think that's a better question asked to the Republicans because they control the agenda.
Is that the case? Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz, a Republican on the House Budget Committee, with me here. Nice to see you in person.
Hey,
good morning to you. What did you think of Nancy Pelosi's answer?
Hey, to hear her say that she's no longer the speaker, that's one of my favorite things in the world. Look, the Democrats made a choice. They chose to grow government. These kind of do-nothing Democrats decided we're going to grow government to try to get us out of our problems. And they failed to realize that it's real people and small businesses and medium businesses that actually grow jobs. So what we're doing right now here today, getting rid of that onerous regulation. We're working on an energy program. We repealed Obamacare, and we actually passed a budget that not only balances, but it pays us off
the
the
House
debt.
side. Yeah. She seems to be tipping her hand a little bit for how these debates play out over the next 2 years. No reduction in Medicare benefits. Well, you've already voted on that. Who wins that debate?
Well, let's remember, Obamacare is the one that actually dismantles the whole thing. So we actually come up with a program that will save it. And for seniors that are 55 years old and older, nothing changes. And so we actually think we've done the responsible thing by actually introducing a budget that balances and pays off the debt and actually saves Medicare through the course of time.
Well, the other thing she said is that we need to dig out of deep debt. Yeah. 14.4 trillion, I think, is the mark today.
Yeah.
I mean, there seems to be agreement on that issue fundamentally. But I don't know how these two sides come together to get something done for the American people. And I think that's the point that Schieffer is trying to drive at.
No doubt. If it was easy, it would have been done a long time ago. But the reality is, with Paul Ryan as our leader there, we passed a budget that balances and pays off the debt. Until President Obama, until Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi can produce a plan that they want to see that will actually balance, then it's very difficult to get through these discussions.
And when Democrats have had the majority in the House, you speak to Republicans and say, we have no power here. We can't do anything, which is essentially what she was saying, too. She has no power.
Well, they need a plan. They need a plan. I'd love to do this in a bipartisan way. I think the American people want us to do it in a bipartisan way. But we have a plan. Let's remember that the Democrats control the Senate, and Harry Reid has refused to actually bring this up and deal with it. And we need the president to come to the table and say, this is what we would like to see too. And thus far, he hasn't done it.
You've been in Washington 3 years.